10 of the most complimented fragrances in my 1,000 plus bottle collection. Let's just dive right into it. I think it's pretty self-explanatory for this one. First one, and some of these are going to be obvious. A lot of these are going to be older because keep in mind, we're going back for the all-time, like the most complimented ones out of my entire collection. And so that's built up over the years, right? And I think Sauvage Eau de Toilette, it should be no surprise. It's one that you're probably not excited to see, but you just kind of expect to see it anyway, and we might as well just start off with it. Yeah, the Eau de Toilette. Now you have many more to choose from. You can go for the Eau de Parfum, the newest Elixir. There are different types for different tastes. This is going to be by far the most entry level. This is one of my bottles. I have many more of just the Eau de Toilette. I stocked up on them in case of reformulation, which if you look around, people are already saying, yes, it's been reformulated, has been for a while. So I'm set. If I ever want any OG vintage Sauvage, I have plenty of it. But this is one of my original ones, and it's pretty low. You really don't need a ton of it. I never applied this one heavily, but it's one that will never let you down. Sure, you're going to be smelling like the rest in one way or another. You know, there's no uniqueness factor about this anymore, like there maybe was when it very first came out, but it is one that you can just spray on and be set for anything. And, you know, sometimes that's nice to have. This next one is Invictus Aqua 2018/2016. So just the Invictus Aqua DNA, Versace House, Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, things of that nature. All of those could be lumped into a similar category. They could all be listed as ties for this spot here, whatever makes you happy inside. But regardless, it kind of starts with this type of thing right here because this got significantly more hype than House and all of the others. And, you know, especially 2016 Invictus Aqua did as well, which I also wore heavily. Even this one has now been officially discontinued. You can still get this one from time to time for like $80 for 100 ml testers. It'll show up every now and then. I've sent out a couple emails recently of this one showing up for around that price, 100 ml testers. So if you get on that mailing list down below, you shouldn't have any trouble picking one up for yourself if you somehow haven't already, or if you're looking for a backup bottle. But it's Invictus Aqua. This DNA needs no introduction. You've smelled it at one point or another. You probably own something that smells similar to this DNA. You know, it's just one that has worked very well for a lot of people over the years. And again, I've gone through a ton of this. I've gone through a ton of the 2016. More recently, I've really been hooked on House, and I've been wearing that one more, and we'll probably pivot to wear that one more in the future, but there's no denying what this stuff has done as I've kind of built up my collection. It's just been one that I've leaned heavily on because I love the smell of it. It's super versatile in the summertime, and for a lot of people out there, this is kind of the thing that you want to get into if all you care about is compliments. Next up, Parfums de Marly LAYTON. So if you want to spend a little bit more money, but you still want mass appeal and you want a luxury product, this is one you can get into. A lot of times when you start getting into this category, maybe not the scent category, but the category of niche and specific, you start running the risk of running into things that maybe aren't going to be mass pleasing. They're not going to be good compliment getters. But Parfums de Marly as a whole is really good about kind of sticking to that designer style of scent, but just with more quality, and some of their offerings do have a little bit more uniqueness to them, but ultimately they're very much an entry-level niche brand that's still going to get you mass appeal and be super versatile and easy to wear. Similar deal, you could go with any of the clones of this. There are many good ones out there. There's Amber Oud Exclusive Blue. There is also Al Haramain Detour Noir, two really good ones. Those are two of the best on the market in my opinion. Whichever one you can get, whichever one you're comfortable with paying for in terms of price point, because there are different price points to the clones. It's just something you got to figure out for yourself, but ultimately this DNA will never fail. It will never let you down. And the original isn't really a bad investment either. It's a luxury premium product that you can actually get your use out of. Next up, we have Ultra Male. Should also be no surprise. I've had this one around for a long time. It's always worked really well. You take a look across the community, and a lot of people rave about similar things. That, yeah, Ultra Male is a great compliment getter. I've also burned through a ton of this one. It's impossible to see, but it's, you know, without pointing and looking weird, it's, you know, just down here. It's down to the bottom, right around in there. So yeah, I burned through a lot of it. There's also Afnan 9 PM. That's a great clone. There's Rue Broca Touche, also a great clone of this one. Their clones are generally around $40 or so for this, sometimes a bit less. I think there's also a $20 one out there, I think from Lattafa, can't remember for sure. But there's some options. If you don't want to spend all of the money on Ultra, you just want to go for something more affordable, you can definitely do that. Again, it's all about the DNA. I've had all of the originals of everything we're talking about here before the clones, and so that's why the originals are in this video first and foremost, because those are the ones I've worn the most over a consistent number of years. But the clones are a great option now, especially as they've been getting better and better as we go on. I mean, they're becoming great options for you. So don't be afraid to buy a clone just because I'm not featuring them here necessarily. It's just all about what I've had for the longest period of time. But this DNA will not let you down. It's very sweet. It's got pear, it's vanilla, cinnamon, lavender, all of that stuff. It's a unique take, but again, very sweet. You just got to be careful with this one. That being said, it does stand out to some extent, and it is really pleasant, really nice. It's fun to wear. Another one that is super obvious, but again, I can't do a video like this and stuff it full of random stuff to make the video different, right? I know everyone wants to see different videos. Sometimes when it comes to what's going into the video, there's a reason why you see the same stuff over and over again. Maybe every now and then, you know, there'll be some options in here that maybe you didn't think of, and then you'll want to pick up. But ultimately, things are tested and proven to work. And so if this video can help out a newcomer to the community and they can kind of look and see what someone's been wearing over the course of several years out of a big collection to get them compliments, this is kind of what I aim for with something like this video. And Acqua di Gio Profumo is one of those scents. It has been my signature scent since the beginning, essentially. Talked about it many times. I love it. I'm going to be breaking it out very soon now that we're kind of getting into that appropriate temperature for it. I kind of tend to just wear this one in the warmer seasons, generalized, you know, spring, summer, early fall. That's kind of my go-to. Late spring, although lately it's been 80 degrees here in the beginning of April, so I could wear it here recently as well. But you guys get the deal. It's all about the incense, the sea notes, the patchouli. It's that aquatic DNA, but with a smoky nighttime kind of mysterious feel. It's a great compliment getter. People love it. It's a great performer as well. And next up, Dolce & Gabbana The One Eau de Parfum. Love this stuff. It's one of my all-time favorites. The fact that you can get it for around $50 to $60 for 100 ml, on discounters of course, makes this a complete steal. Even the retail price of this isn't unreasonable considering what you get for it, which is a super modern, refined, classy tobacco scent. It's amazing. Aside from that tobacco, you get some amber in here as well. A little bit of a kind of grapefruit kick off the opening. A little bit of lavender, a little bit of cardamom also. No, it doesn't smell like La Nuit de l'Homme, although La Nuit de l'Homme is another one that dominates in this category. This is kind of like the premium date night scent, in my opinion, this and La Nuit de l'Homme. But this is one that you can wear realistically for anything. It can be a signature scent if you wanted to. Yeah, summertime might be a little bit of a stretch for you, depending on if you're working outdoors versus indoors and things of that nature. But generally speaking, there's a ton of versatility to this one. I think it's best suited for evenings out and date nights, but it does have the overall composition to be used for anything, and people love how this smells. That should be no surprise. Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum, you know, just the original one here. Now, I'm going to be continuing to wear the Eau de Parfum Reserve Privé heavily going forward, but this is one that I've had for the longest. I think this might have been my first gentleman purchase. I got this even before the Eau de Toilette. I got this, you know, obviously before all of the other flankers came out. So yeah, I think I started it off with this one. So I've had this for a good while, pretty much ever since it first came out, somewhere around in that time frame. There was a point where you could get it for like $50 for 100 ml on discounters. Do you guys remember that, or am I going crazy? Years ago, $50 when it was kind of, you know, had enough time for it to not be new anymore to where discounters could get it in stock. You could get it for around that price. And now you're looking at, you know, $75 to $85 on discounters. Still not bad. I still think it's well worth it, but it is crazy how things have changed. Or I could just be completely losing my mind, and I guess that's a possibility as well. Regardless of that, this is the Iris DNA, the Sweet Iris, but more focused on vanilla. More vanilla compared to any of the others. Some black pepper in here as well. Smells beautiful. I love this. Great, great stuff. And it's a big people pleaser. You're going to have better luck with this from a mass appeal standpoint compared to DIOR Homme Intense and Valentino Uomo Intense. Those will work as well. This is going to be the one where you want to play it the most safe. Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. I mean, should be no surprise to you guys as well. This has been popular for a long time, caught a lot of hype, and for great reason. Another one of my favorites. You know, you might look at these, you might think they're basic, you might think that I never wear them, right? Because I could wear something else. That's not true. I actually, anymore, tend to gravitate towards things like this that are just so easy to pull off. They require no thought. They're nothing crazy. They're nothing out there. This is the type of thing that I gravitate towards anymore. I have a ton of niche. I have a ton of really out there designer style scents as well. I've got discontinued, rare, hard to find things that I could wear and really stand out because no one else is going to be wearing that stuff. But at the end of the day, when I come down here to pick something out when I'm heading out, I just go for whatever I can get on that's going to be the easiest and stress-free. And a lot of times it is something like this. I love this stuff. It's a big people pleaser. Another one that has a ton of versatility, a little bit more expensive. You got to pay up for this. The Chanel's do come with a premium, but it is worth it. Next up, we have a cheapie. We have Hugo Boss Reversed. This one has rosemary, grapefruit vetiver, Elysium style, but with its own little twist. To some extent, it just kind of falls in that vein, that ballpark, that the type of vetiver that they're using in here is similar to that of Elysium. And I've said this a million times, but the vetiver in Elysium is kind of the driving force of that one. You know, anytime you smell something that smells similar to it, 9 times out of 10, when you look at it and you really think about it, it's because of the vetiver. You've got this, you have even something like Bohemian Lime by whatever brand it is that makes Pacific Rock Moss. I'm completely drawing a blank on that one. My bottle's sitting right back there. It's going to bug me, but you guys know what I'm talking about. That's another one that's a niche product and smells kind of similar-ish to Elysium, and it's that vetiver, okay? A lot of things that kind of do that similar thing have the vetiver citrus thing going on. So this kind of has a similar feel, again, with its own twist. Ultimately, this is one you can get for $30, $35, very affordable. It's one that you can throw on heavily and not really offend anyone. Another one that has a lot of versatility and a lot of mass appeal. It's one of my fiance's favorites. Actually, a lot of these are. And last up for this one, Dylan Blue by Versace. So this one I've had around for a long time as well. I love it. This is one that I've featured, or not featured, but kind of put some of my real life friends onto. Same with Sauvage, actually, back in high school. And, you know, this is the type of thing that's easy to get people into. You could get something like this at an affordable price. On discounters, $40 to $50 for Dylan Blue any day. If you're paying more than that, you're probably in the wrong place. So it's kind of where this one typically goes for. Testers sometimes come with a cap, sometimes don't. It's kind of strange. I've gotten testers that do come with caps. I've seen pictures of listings online where the tester picture is capless. So I really don't know to say, you know, a 100% answer. I think they're supposed to, but sometimes I don't know. Regardless of that, the price is right. It's also utilizing patchouli and incense here with the aquatic notes. Has very much a shower gel smell, but this is going to be one of the sweeter blue fragrances out there. It's sweeter than Sauvage and other things in this category, and I like that about it. Gives it a little bit more of an interesting nighttime smoky feel, which I really enjoy. I love how this smells. Even though it's labeled as shower gel, as basic as it gets, I think it's great, and it's a big people pleaser. And also the performance is completely crazy. Strong performer, great longevity, strong projection. This stuff will go and go and go. You don't have to worry about it. In order to get this one off, you pretty much just have to hop in the shower. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 10 of the most complimented fragrances out of my entire 1,000 plus bottle collection. Over the years, these generally get the best results, and for most of you guys, you know, you kind of expected to see this, but for anyone that's new to the community, these are the type of things you want to prioritize first if you are building a collection solely based around mass appeal, which a lot of you probably are. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a smart thing to do, so you have a positive experience with the hobby starting off, rather than listening to a niche snob tell you to get into this $300 thing that smells horrible to you and to people around you because you're new and people around you don't know what they're smelling. that doesn't give you a positive experience, so focus on the things that do. I will link these down below, and like I said, if any of these, like Invictus Aqua 2018, a little bit hard to get sometimes, get on the mailing list, and anytime something like that comes in stock, I send out an email. Like I said, with the Invictus Aqua, $80, 100 ml testers. Really good price considering it's been discontinued for some time. It's happened a few times. Once it comes in stock again, I'll send out an email. Anything else that might be hard to find out there in the fragrance world, similar deal. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.